Hello and welcome to Books of Blood. My name is John, and today I'm going to be continuing with 50 years of horror fiction, and we're going to be talking about the year 1987. So I've got 5 books from that year, so let's go ahead and get underway, alright? So the first one I'm going to be talking about is Swan Song, and this is by Robert R. McCammon. Swan is a 9-year-old Idaho girl following her struggling mother from one trailer park to the next when she receives visions of doom, something far wider than the narrow scope of her own beleaguered life. In a blinding flash, nuclear bombs annihilate civilization, leaving only a few buried survivors to crawl onto a scorched landscape that was once America. In Manhattan, a homeless woman stumbles from the sewers, guided by the prophecies of a mysterious amulet and pursued by something wicked. On Idaho's Blue Dome Mountain, an orphan boy falls under the influence of depraved survivalists and discovers the value of a killer instinct. And amid the devastating dust storms on the Great Plains of Nebraska, Swan forms a heart and soul bond with an unlikely new companion. Soon they will cross paths. But only Swan knows that they must endure more than just a trek across an irradiated country of mutated animals, starvation, madmen, and wasteland warriors. Swan's visions tell of a coming malevolent force. It's a shape-shifting embodiment of the apocalypse and of all that is evil and despairing, and is hell-bent on destroying the last hope of goodness and purity in the world. Swan is that hope. Now she must fight not only for her own survival, but for that of all mankind. And that is Swan Song, and that is by Robert R. McCammon. Okay, next we have Scared Stiff, Tales of Sex and Death, and these are stories by Ramsey Campbell. The original publication of Scared Stiff almost created the subgenre of erotic horror. Never had sex and death been so mesmerizingly entwined. Clive Barker, in his introduction, says, "One of the delightfully unsettling things about these tales is the way Ramsey's brooding, utterly unique vision renders an act so familiar to us all, so fretful, so strange, so chilling. Sex is the perfect stuff for the horror writer, and there can be few artists working in the genre as capable of analyzing and dramatizing this as Campbell." And this must be a new edition that they talk about here, because it says, for this edition, Campbell has added 3 new stories which have never before appeared in book form. So that is a somewhat synopsis of Scared Stiff, Tales of Sex and Horror by Ramsey Campbell. Okay. Next up, we've got Ash Wednesday. It's by Chet Williamson. In Marydale, semi-transparent blue apparitions have appeared. These aren't ghosts exactly, they are visions of the dead in their final moments, the last seconds of their lives portrayed for all to see. They don't move and they don't speak. Ash Wednesday is a thoughtful horror story about what happens to people when they are forced to gaze into the face of death, and specifically the face of their own personal dead, their friends and family, those they believe to be dead and gone. Murders are revealed, rapes and other crimes. People despair and try to create new lives out of the wreckage. 2 of these are Bradley Myers, a vet already driven half crazy by his experiences in Vietnam, confronted by the sight of his dead son, and now barely capable of containing his rage. And Jim Callender, whose son has died in the same accident, for which he is partly responsible. As Callender sinks into guilt, Myers moves toward murder. And that is Ash Wednesday. It's by Chet Williamson. Okay, next up we have got Stickman, and this is by Seth Fefferly. The spirit world lies close to our own sealed form, ours by ancient magical barriers. I'm not sure about that sentence. That's a strange sentence. It has its hunted and its hunters enacting the timeless game of blood and death. But aged barriers are weakening and a hunter has crossed over. Our world is an inhospitable place. Drought and war have driven away the zebra and the gazelle. The hunter's only remaining prey is human. And that is Stickman, and it's by Seth Feverly. And a very strange sentence in that synopsis. I don't know if somehow or another I don't know. I copy and paste these synopsis, so I mean, I could have done that. Okay, next up we've got Live Girls, and this is by Ray Garton. The garish neon lights of New York City's Times Square can be very seductive, and so can the promises of dark pleasures on the seedier side streets. To Davy Owen, the lure of a glowing sign advertising Live Girls was too hard to resist. He was looking for a little entertainment. He found instead a nightmare in the form of a beautiful but strangely pale woman. A woman who offers him passion, ecstasy, and eternal life, but takes in exchange his lifeblood and his very soul. And that is Live Girls, and that is by Ray Garton. I read Live Girls a long time ago, and I loved it. It's one of those books I need to come back and reread. And he wrote another one in a similar vein, no pun intended, since we're talking about vampires, called Lot Lizards. And it was about truck stop vampire hookers. Just let that sink in. I'm going to say it one more time, okay? Truck stop vampire hookers. I mean, how cool is that? Okay? Anyway, that is going to do it for 1987. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, take care and stay scared. Bye-bye.